G'day Daiwa and tournament fans. We are with our Daiwa BREAM Australian Open champion Michael Colotouros, and he has given us a nail-biting final day at the Open. 3-day tournament, 2 days on the harbour. Yesterday, day 2 of the Hawkesbury. Michael, you have brought the juice.
It's been a long time.
The golden goose, you got it today.
Yeah. I'm over the moon. I had a really big day today. I needed to come back with a big bag. I think Jamie had a kilo lead on me. So I hunted him down and I got that kilo lead, and I managed to get a stonker right at the end of the day.
All right, let's not talk about that big guy just yet. Let's talk about the first 2 days. Day 1 on the harbour, what did you do?
Day 1 on the harbour, just traditionally docks, pontoons, boat hulls, nasty pylons. It's a real structure fishery. So targeted those areas on the first day, lost a lot of big fish, only came back with a reasonable 3.4 kilo bag, and yeah, just throwing crab imitation. So cranker crabs and gulp crabbies seemed to be the standout lure, and that's pretty much all I used all weekend.
Now, where were you positioned after day 1?
Day 1 I was in 5th position. Yeah.
And how did you feel heading into day 2, New Waterway, Hawkesbury?
Yep.
Is it a location that you have a fond affection for?
Absolutely love the Hawkesbury. I only live walking distance to the water in the harbour here, and I prefer the Hawkesbury any day over the harbour. I know a lot of big fish spots there, and day 2 was a very good day for me. I think I managed to get 4 kilos on day 2. Lost some absolute giants as you do. There's so many big fish there. So yeah, and Hawkesbury was same thing. Throwing crabs, and also throwing the old school squidgy bloodworm 100mm wriggler. So I had to pull the all the old gun lures out. So yeah.
Now, we chatted to you before the takeoff on the 3rd day, and we were talking about the type of fish that this waterway has to offer.
Yep.
But the reality is, day 3 things get harder. You probably didn't think you were going to get that big bite and that big bag that you needed to run down Jamie.
Yeah. So usually on day 3 on the opens, when I fish them, I don't do so well. I come back with low 3 kilo bags, and it's not what you need. If you want to take out an Oz Open event, as we've seen with all previous events, you need to come back with minimum 4.5. Yeah, managed to get that today with I think 4.7 kilos. So.
All right, now run us through the final day. How did it play out for you?
Yeah, so made a really good decision in the morning to go fish some really gnarly docks and structure and stuff, and it paid off well. Like, I think most of my bag I had in the morning were all over 30 forks, so it was a real good start to the day. And then from there, just slowly spot hopped around and got slow bites and fishing, everything I could basically, and getting a few centimetre upgrade every time. And yeah, so it was just a really good start and a really good decision to begin with.
And then we crossed and we did our live. I think it was about midday. You were coming towards the end of a spot that you were fishing, and you were making a move.
Yeah.
It was an important move, wasn't it?
Very. So when you jumped on the phone with me, you asked me how far our next spot was, and the fact that you said that you were going to stay on the phone and watch me drive to my next spot, I actually changed in my head the spot where I wanted to go to. So I made a call to go to the Lane Cove because I knew it was no more than 5 minutes. Anyway, so we raced over the Lane Cove, went into one of the bays there. It was the second cast on a separate boat hull, and hooked an absolute giant. Absolute giant.
And it was a pretty monumental moment in ABT and especially live history.
Yeah.
Run us through that battle with that big fish, because it was all over the place.
Well, when I initially hooked it, it was on the tail end of a boat, and he ran so hard he probably got me well beyond the anchor rod of that boat. Just stuck my rod onto the water, just slowly wound out, and in the meantime the boat was drifting, and we actually drifted close to 20 metres to another boat, and he was screaming line and battling, running from front to back and dodging my angler that I had with me today, and yeah, ended up getting him in the net and almost brushing up against another boat, and the footage is fantastic. Like, I'm so excited to watch it over again. So
it was great footage, and for me sitting in the commentary watching it unfold, I had goosebumps. You would have been shaking pretty hard.
Like
and the reality is, it was nothing that I needed to say, because the story was being told by you and that fish that was there. It took a little while for the scoreboard to refresh. We had a feeling that the fish was big enough, but it wasn't until that weight went in. So we had a bit of a nervous wait.
Yeah, we did.
When I came back to you and told you what you had and that you moved to the leads, what ran through your mind?
Well, I think you told me at 12:30 that I took the lead by 157 grams, and I was shaking enough with a 42 fork length fish, but then afterwards I I couldn't concentrate. I was shaking. I was weak in the knees, and I was chasing another fish because I know 157 grams isn't much to overtake. So I went to a couple more bays, saw a few more big fish. Couldn't get them to bite, and my heart was in my mouth. My heart was beating out of the chest. It was crazy.
I think the line I used was that fish is a $5,000 fish.
Yeah.
Now the question is, what is the outfit? What was the lure that you used to catch him and all his mates?
Yeah. So like I said, all weekend we got fish on crabs, and so what I got him on this weekend, most of the weekend was on cranker crabs, and then on the boat hulls I like to use the gob craw. So it's just a soft plastic crab imitation lure with a really lightly weighted jig head, and it was on Miller Rod's Brim Buster rod, and yeah, with a Daiwa Luvius reel. So yeah, it was a really good setup. Line was a bit scuffed up. Like I said, he ran me right onto the boat, and that was primarily what I was using all weekend whilst I was structure fishing. So yeah.
So we finished doing our live coverage at 1 o'clock. You guys, of course, had another hour to fish. The app for the scoring for the tournament meant that you could stay in touch with the scoreboard, but it wasn't loading terribly well. How often were you trying to get an update on that scoreboard?
Well, I think the guy that was with me today was more excited than what I was, because he was trying to upload it every 30 seconds, but it stopped working from about 10 o'clock. But yeah, he actually did a quick calculation for me, and he said that actually when we found out that Jamie got another upgrade, that we were still about 90 grams in front, and there was only like 20 minutes to go. So yeah, look, when it's your time, it's your time. So I had a lot of good fish stick on today, and it paid off. So.
Well, mate, you are a pleasure to have in front of the camera and in the microphone. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, so massive thanks to Daiwa for sponsoring this event, or like yourself and all the crew in the back end, in the head office that were doing all the media coverage, all the guys turning up in the morning to take the photos. Massive hats off to Daiwa. Thank you so much. Also ABT for running this event, all the anglers for turning up, and big thanks to my wife for letting me get away to do a week's worth of fishing. So.
My pleasure, mate. Very popular winner. Folks, there we are, our 2021 Daiwa BREAM Australian Open champion, Michael Colotouros.
Oh my God, it's a big one. Come on, please, please. Oh my God, it's a giant. Oh my God, on the boat. Watch out, watch out. Oh, watch out. Oh, shit, shit, shit. Oh my God. 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 Big fish. Yes! Oh. Look at the size of this thing.
Boom. Just
Oh.
like that.
That was live. Just like that. Oh my God. Simon, mate, I love you. Every time you jump in the camera, catch a big fish.
My pleasure, mate.
Look at the girth on that. I don't think the rule is long enough. I don't think the rule is long enough. I'll just put him on here. We'll get that ruler. I'm gonna have to put him on the brag, mate. This one, he's over the ruler. How are we gonna do this? Simon, would be able to check in with you soon, just so I can use a second pair of hands.
Yeah, mate. You take care of what you've got. You've got your hands full, and we'll get back to you in a minute.